All right. Well, a conversation I've been looking forward to for a while. I think since like the strike happened over the summer and things kind of just got crazy. And our guest, comedian, podcaster Brooks Wheelan, you can see him currently on tour with John Oliver, Seth Meyers. He's got a podcast, which is really cool, entry level, where he talks to different people about their first job or their jobs that they had prior to getting to where they are. So I'm excited, Brooks. Thanks for your time and thanks for hanging out today, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Brad. Stoked.
Yeah, so you're a very busy guy. You're traveling, you're podcasting. Are you ready for the holidays? Are you going to take a little bit of a break or are you one to just kind of keep going?
No, so I have some show. Yeah, I've got a good run here at the end. Me and John Oliver have spent the last decade doing New Year's together, and so I think we have 10 shows in DC. That'll be really fun. That's just kind of always like the end of the year. We can just hang out and bang out a bunch of shows and catch up.
That's very cool. I mean, to be able to tour with those guys, I think it's cool. I want to go back to the beginning because you do stand up. Do you remember your first open mic or your first introduction to stand up? What was the impetus to get you to that place?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wanted to be a comedian since I was like, I don't know, fucking 10. I loved like SNL and Sandler's like my favorite guy ever. And yeah, I read like a book from the book fair about Adam Sandler and it said he used to do stand up. That's how he got on SNL. And I was like in fourth grade and I was like, all right, I guess I'll do stand up if I ever want to get on SNL. And then it worked. And I was like, that was crazy that worked. But so when I was 19, my brother worked at this comedy club. I was like writing jokes like all through middle school and high school and shit, but like too nervous to get on stage. And then when I was 19, my brother worked at this comedy club called Penguins in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And he was a bartender there. And it was, small club, but I loved it. Got flooded. Like it's the type of club that a flood came through town and wiped it out. Like
Oh no.
it was like in a basement below a Mexican restaurant. But it was awesome, man. And I went there to watch an open mic when I was 19 to be like, oh, but then once I got in there, I was like, I gotta go up. And then yeah, went up and had, nervous, frantic energy. And then as soon as I got off, asked my brother was like, oh, you should, this woman, Kim, was the manager. And Brad's like, hey, this is my little brother. He, just did the open mic. And I was like, can I work here too? And she was like, we don't really have a job. I was like, I'll do fucking anything. So then I kind of I would like answer phones and shit for him. And then, so I started working at Penguins.
And here you are. What a career
Hmm.
you've had. I just find this comedy so interesting and fascinating, because the journey, like for you and for other people, is so different. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I think is cool is you visualized really in a way like what you wanted and you worked hard to get there. And that's cool. They just let you answer phones because you have the drive to like want to
Yeah.
do it.
And then, yeah, then I worked my way up to like, I was the sound guy and then I would MC the bad shows. And yeah,
All the things that nobody wants to do.
right.
That's very cool. Do you
It was
get,
great.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, so now, like when you are touring or you interact with people, do you get solicited for advice on how to start stand up? Do people ask you that, or do they just kind of come
Um,
watch you? I don't
sure.
imagine like maybe they might approach John Oliver. I have no idea. He's eons, like yourself, beyond any of that sort of thing. But I think people find that part very interesting for sure.
I mean, my advice used to be get to a city, because I started in Iowa and I was like, get to LA or New York. But like, with the fucking internet now, I don't know how necessary that is. You know what I mean? So like, but like in 2009 when I moved to LA, I was like, oh, this is important to be where it's happening.
Yeah, so that is interesting, the concept about technology and the internet now. Like literally, you still have to put the hard work in, obviously, and do open mics and get yourself out there. But now with the internet, I think anybody, it's the possibilities. Have you found success on that? I see you posting a lot of your clips and things like that. Is that Are you now responsible kind of for helping driving tickets and now and having to post all those clips and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was really, hoping to do it the old-fashioned way where I would like, work, do stand-up, then build a TV show, tour from that. And I worked on this. I've sold a couple shows, but this last one I sold was it's about Iowa. I sold it to Fox, and like it was a really great show. It was called Wheelan Motors. It was me, Tim Heidecker was producer on it, and then Tim Robinson helped us out to play. So basically, in the pilot that we kind of shot was me, Tim Heidecker, and Tim Robinson are trying to sell cars for our dad, and we're idiots and we fight. It was good, and I told myself like if that show doesn't go, this is like I don't know 2 years ago, I guess. Only I was like, if that show doesn't go, I will become better at clips, because that is important. And I just didn't want to do it because I don't want to do it. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then when the show didn't go, I like downloaded TikTok that day, just so defeated. I was like, all right, let's do it.
But I think that's the way it goes now, right? Like the possibilities
Absolutely
are
the way it goes.
limitless, really, for
Yeah.
exposure. I mean, I obviously know you from SNL. That was part of your life. And then, of course, I saw you recently, like with Seth Meyers. And I've always, again, for somebody who has been doing stand up for like 9 to 10 months now, I interviewed comics long before that, but it's been helpful to have all these awesome conversations with people like yourself because you have done this and you've kind of carved the path. Um,
Yeah. Wait, so you're doing stand-up now?
Yeah, I've been in it on it about 9 months. I'm in that stage where I'm obviously still doing open mics. Once in a while, I will get a guest spot on a show here in Colorado. But really, I mean, with the holidays now and everything else, I haven't been able to go up and do anything. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I started
So like the Denver area?
Denver area. Yeah, there's a
It's a
really
great
hot.
scene.
What's that? Yeah, it's amazing here. There's the Comedy Fort, which I generally go to their open mic every week. I've hosted the open mic once. I've done a couple guest spots here in Loveland with the local comedy scene. But Denver is called the new talent at the Comedy Works. So yeah, but it all started because I've been interviewing comedians for so long. And finally, like at one point, a couple of them were like, why have you not tried it yet? I mean, nobody
Mhm.
goes to open mics and watches willingly, is what I was told. And I was like, yeah, but I just find it so interesting. So yeah, very, very still new at it. But yeah, it's fun. I'm glad I did it. It was super nerve wracking and still continues to be every time I do it. And that's just working on like 5 to 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's hard. It's very hard, you know. But that's why I like talking to people like yourself because you've carved that path, as I said, and you've moved forward and you have really kind of seen what it's like. But the social media thing is huge. Like I didn't realize how, there was a time where people went on radio shows and this, that to sell tickets. But now it seems like it's kind of incumbent upon yourself, right? To help move tickets. If you're,
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't even think I do morning radio anymore. Like I can't think of. I mean, this is morning radio. That's what this is. Like I put out a
yeah.
special. I'm doing so many fucking podcasts to promote it. Like this is morning radio.
So let's talk about the special. It's really funny.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. How long did it take for you to get to a spot where you felt like you were ready to put a special out?
Oh well, it's actually kind of. I was gonna shoot. I was gonna shoot a special in what it was like January, February, March of 2020. Like had an hour. It'd take me like I don't know, 4 years after I put out my first album to be like, okay, I like this. This is great. I was busy, and then COVID happened, so we can't shoot the special. Like I missed it by like a week. It was crazy.
Oh no.
And then all that money went away. There was a lot of money in like stand-up specials. Like the budget for that one that I was going to shoot here in LA was $75,000. It was like a
Wow.
great budget for a really simple shoot. I was going to do it outside this fish taco spot called Best Fish Taco. It's my favorite stand-up place in LA, and I thought it was unique. And then like COVID was like over, and like all that money kind of went away, and I was randomly just in. I was opening for John Oliver at the Grand Ole Opry or whatever the hell it's called at the Ryman. No, the Ryman in Nashville. And these guys who are really cool from 800 Pound Gorilla that produces a lot of specials. They were there and they were randomly like, "Hey, do you wanna do a special? Because it went great." And I was like, yeah, can we do it in Alaska? I had this tour of Alaska booked, and they were like, "No." And I was like, they're like, "We don't have a budget for that, you know?" And I was like, "Well, I really
They're
want to
like,
go
no
do it.
money.
I really want to go do it." And they're like, "Well, we would spend like 15 grand is what we would spend if you would shoot that here, because we don't think you need to go to Alaska. If you want to go to Alaska, you can. You just have to cover personally anything that goes over that." And I was like, "Okay." Let's do it. And then we went and we shot this guy, Matt Schuler did it great. And my friend Martine came. So we shot a bunch of stuff around Alaska. And then I just had to put like 20 grand of my own money into it. So like Met, 800 pound gorilla. I mean, more than Met. I was just like, I want this to be great. And I think it turned out great. I mean, but that's all that happened. I was just like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. Fucking yeah, dropped a
You're like,
decent amount on that and was just like
I
pretty
like
stressed
it.
out the whole time, but loved it. Like hindsight, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
800 pound gorilla is awesome. We've had dozens of comics who have released specials on that and Blonde Medicine too. Both of those companies are awesome. And I like the fact that they support comedians in that art form. You know what I'm saying? To get a special out who might not necessarily get like the Netflix or the Hulu or the Amazon thing. But even now, putting stuff up on YouTube is just as like people are doing well with that and just
Yeah,
putting it out
absolutely.
there.
Yeah. I mean, um, yeah, Netflix and YouTube are really like, I mean, I obviously shopped this around and would have sold it to Hulu or Amazon or fucking Peacock. But they didn't buy it. But then my friend was like, if it's not on Netflix, YouTube is the only other place people are watching this shit. So he's like, this is the best for ticket sales. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. YouTube is a great spot. A lot of comedians now are doing that. I like your comment about I more than met them halfway. Yeah, that's a lot of meeting people halfway.
Yeah.
20 grand, holy cow. But I think you have to bet on yourself, right? That's the biggest lesson.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, I was like, all right, let's bet on this. So that's why I'm whoring myself out on social media to get anyone to see it. I'm like proud of it, but I'm like also I'm like I need to make my fucking money back, dude. People got to see this fucking thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of dough. Um, I always find that part interesting when it comes to that because like now Hulu's getting into the comedy game now. They're just released like a bunch of specials or a list of things that are coming out this next year. I think Jim Gaffigan was the first. Hulu's like, there's money in that. We want to be involved, you know? So they're like, let's bring on this list of people. What is the demographic like for people who come to see you? Is it mostly people who know you from opening for John and for Seth, or maybe SNL, or kind of a mix? When,
It's like really like in the Midwest, I sell a lot of fucking tickets because I talk a lot about the Midwest. So I think that my shit
yeah,
gets bounced around there. Like, so it's just a lot of people my age, which is a lot of dudes and gals in their 30s who might drink a little too much. Um, and then like, yeah, in New York, it's, New York is just like SNL. Like it's different everywhere. Like Chicago is everybody who like digs my fucking Midwest stuff that blew up that like, was big on Instagram. And then New York is people who dig SNL because that's kind of like their show. They really take
yeah.
ownership over it. And then LA, I don't fucking like I perform here so often I don't really ever do an hour out in LA, but I don't know. I wish I could figure it out. And then I would
I know
market to
that's
them
great
more.
advice. Honestly, like it's inspiring. Do you have a favorite spot? Well, you mentioned the fish taco place in LA. Do you have other places that you like to go up, or do you
Permanent
just,
Records, Roadhouse is my new favorite spot out in Los Angeles right now. Whitmer Thomas and Carmen Christopher have like a monthly show there called Carmen Witt Worldwide that is so good that if you're ever visiting Los Angeles, you should see if that show is happening. It's Sundays once a month, and it's like the best show in LA right now.
yeah? I think that's one of the things I love about Colorado that I found out at the beginning just as a fan. Like there's so much comedy here and the community is so tight. Like you have these
Yeah, I just
shows,
did I just did the Grawlix at the Bug Theater in November.
yeah, was it the High Plains that you did?
No, it was just a random the monthly show.
Yeah, Ben Roy, who and then Adam, those are cool dudes. Yeah, Ben has been on the show before. Yeah, it's just a cool spot. Like you can go anywhere almost any night of the week and there is comedy happening somewhere. Or you probably don't do open mics anymore, but there's tons of those around too, which
Hmm.
make it very accessible for anybody looking to start. Cool stuff, man. So you've got these dates that you're doing, uh, the podcast. Let's talk about that. That's a really cool concept. Where did that idea come
Oh
from?
yeah, so entry level came from the idea of I used to be a biomedical engineer, and
Yes.
that's what I did until I got SNL, and I would just like be driving to open mics and back to engineering and just waking up early, and I was just miserable, and I was like I would like to make a show where we talk about it's like a lot of people listen to podcasts while they're at work, and I just wanted to make a podcast where it's people who have success in what they always wanted to do, talking about all the bullshit that they went through. I don't know. So like you as a listener could be like, yeah, this sucks, but only for now. You know what I mean? Like kind of like not necessarily inspiring podcasts, not inspiring to hear about people getting fired and shit, but just be like, so everybody goes through this. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool show. And it's interesting to hear people like yourself talk about, yeah, like you were a biomedical engineer, like to make that jump, like when you made that like official jump from that to stand up, were you just like terrified or were you confident in the fact
No,
that
I
you
didn't
knew
quit.
what you were supposed to do?
I didn't quit my job. I didn't quit my full-time biomedical engineering job until the day I got Saturday Night Live. Like I was
Okay.
auditioning for SNL. I was like going to Montreal. I was, I never fucking went on the road once until, yeah, I kind of love a day job like that. Like a 9 to 5 is fucking a great job for a new stand-up comic because you have every night free and you just got to wake up early.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot of late nights waiting
Yeah.
to get on for 3 minutes, maybe four if you're lucky, and just enough delusion to keep going and be like, okay,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm I'm gonna crush, and then it turns out to be horrible or just tone deafening silence. And you're like, I
Mhm.
think I'll try this again tomorrow night, or maybe drive down the road and try it again and see what happens. Well, that's cool, man. Well, congratulations on everything. Again, um, I've always been a fan, and
Oh, thanks, dude.
the podcast is awesome, and your stand up is awesome too. So, um, after the holidays, are you going on more tour dates? Or are you going to take a little break and
Oh, I mean,
work on
there's
more? You
not
do a lot of
really,
writing too, so
yeah, there's not really breaks ever. I'm doing this residency with John Oliver and Seth Meyers in New York City right now. That's been going on for over a year. Once a month, we do the Beacon Theater. They do more time than me, but I host it, and they're just two really good pals. And then I've just been working on this television show for the last year that we're gonna pitch in the new year, which is we have like a studio and a network. And no, we don't have a network. We have a production company in a studio. And it's a really good show that I'm really, really stoked on. Like that's my favorite thing in the world is writing television. Like I like doing stand up, but writing TV shows is like it's really like exciting.
so you enjoy the writing process then, like the challenge that comes with it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like a puzzle, you know. Like you gotta, man. Me and my writing partner, when we write, we'll like, um, we don't care about page count, you know. And we're writing for like network TV this last one, and so, but we would, our first draft would be like 73 pages, and I'm like, okay, now we got to get all this information into 29 pages, and that's like that sucks. But it's cool when it happens, and you're like, we figured this shit out, you know, what words you don't need, what fucking scenes are unnecessary to get to convey the same stuff. It was like really fun because for the last show we wrote 3 episodes of this TV show. And like pilots are kind of formulaic a little bit. Like, here's this person, here they go, here's a story arc, and this is what the show is going to be. But then when we got to write episodes 2 and 3, where I didn't have to introduce any characters, I was like, this is so fucking fun. It's just like, here they are, bam, they're going. Wow, I know who that is. I get it. It was just the most fun I've ever had was writing episodes 2 and 3 of this Fox show.
That's very cool. When you write jokes and your stand up, is it pretty much the same? You enjoy the process, you're writing, trying new stuff
Kind of,
out.
I kind of just write from stage, really, and it
Okay.
and it, it comes in and out of um, like I'll go months without fucking anything good, coming through, and then I'll just hit something sometime, and I'm like, okay, great, and like what I'm really the best at is like by the getting to a city and like uh, really putting myself in that city for while I'm there, walking around, having interactions, seeing stuff, doing stuff. So then by the last show, I've got like something pretty good on that fucking city. And if it's really good, then I can figure out a way to like keep that, and it's not just for that city. I just bring that along. So I just kind of write on stage, really. I haven't sat down and written a stand up like fully out in a long time. Maybe I should. I saw Bill Burr go up. I saw Bill Burr go up Friday night. And it was like the day after that CEO killer dude happened. And he had the tightest fucking five on the CEO killer. And it was like, I was like, Jesus, there are fucking levels to this shit. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, then I had to go up and I was like, I don't have that. It was great, man. It was really inspiring. Whenever I'm feeling down, I'll go watch like really good comics or comics I respect. And then I'm like, all right, I got to work harder. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. That is the thing I think about stand up just in general is you watch somebody like yourself go up and you do 5 to 7 minutes and it seems so natural and so like just unbelievable. And then you look at it and you go, yeah, there's like however many years behind that, however many whatevers that you've done. And that's the thing about stand up. Brian Regan did a show and he did it 5 to 7 minutes. Or no, Rory Scovel did an entire show all all off the cuff. And he makes it look so easy. Or Brian Regan did the same thing. And it's just like very fascinating. So cool, man. That's cool. It's good to watch other people. Last question. Do you have other people besides Burr that you look up to that you enjoy watching?
Yeah, I mean, Rory is always so fun to watch. Kyle Kinane is great. I was just doing shows with Michael Che. He's the best. Michelle Wolf is one of the best comics in the world. Yeah, just I don't know. Who else did I see recently that had a killer set? I mean, Seth Meyers just put out a special, and then he had to do like a new hour at the Beacon, and seeing him turn over a new hour that quick was really, I was like, fucking hell. And he has a TV show he's working on. Yeah, it was really good. Seth's new shit is so funny.
Yeah, he's awesome. Very cool. Well, congratulations, Brooks. Thanks for your time. The
Of
Netflix
course.
or the new special, Alive in Alaska, and of course, your podcast. Um, and maybe next time you're in Colorado, we'll come check your show out.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Let me know. Like, reach out because like I'll come. Let's go find a show or something. Go hang out.
awesome. Cool. Thanks, Brooks. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Brad. You're cool. Good
Thank
luck.
you.